school year. And I, Emily Hall, as the senior class president, would like to welcome each of you to the Silverstein Eye Center's arena to our 2017 Belton High School commencement this evening. Before we proceed with tonight's event, please take a moment and recognize the location of the exits from this area of the facility. In case of an emergency, there will be a verbal announcement or an alarm, which signals the need for an orderly exit from this location. If this should happen, please proceed as directed to the nearest exit. We thank you for your cooperation.
We also want to thank you for choosing to spend this evening with us. Your presence tonight reflects what we have experienced throughout our lives. Your love, support, and guidance is steadfast, and although we may not always express our appreciation as well as we could or should, we thank you.
We also recognize the significant role you play in our lives, and we do understand the honor of walking across this stage this evening, and our being prepared for the next chapter of our lives has been made possible in large part due to your sacrifice and love.
Your example and lessons have taught us how to be remarkable individuals, and in many ways, we are a reflection of you. Through your influence, you have helped produce a new generation of dreamers and world changers.
We would also like to extend our thanks to our teachers and administrators for fostering our intellectual and emotional growth, for empowering us to dream bigger, for the emphasis placed upon relationship and teamwork, and for inspiring our confidence to confront the challenges which lie ahead. We are forever grateful for your commitment and efforts to help us achieve our goals.
Finally, we would like to thank our peers, the Belton High School class of 2017, for pushing one another to perform better and to be better. Throughout our journey together, we have been there to comfort and confide in one another. We have created bonds which will last a lifetime.
As a result of these special bonds, we find ourselves gathered here tonight. We are a blend of different races, religions, and creeds joined together to honor the amazing graduates and to recognize the ties we have with one another. We are a microcosm of how the world should be, and between us all is a feeling much deeper than any differential obligation. It is love. We are Belton. In the words of Mr. Clark, we love you always. In closing, and on behalf of the 2017 senior class officers, Madison and I have one small request. Each graduate has gone through a great deal to hear their name called when they are to receive their diploma. It would be greatly appreciated if each of you, our guests, and our audience of this evening's event would refrain from the kinds of things that would prevent the graduate and their respective family members from hearing their name being called. Additionally, out of respect for those who are seated immediately around you, we urge you to consider shutting off or placing your technical devices on silent mode for the next couple of hours. Mr. Ogle and the members of the Belton High School Band, through music, please let our graduates know it is time for Commencement 2017 to begin. We stuttered a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. Give me your hand. Send it. Class of 2017, please rise.
Class of 2017, you may be seated.
Eagle Scouts of Belton High School, please prepare to post the colors. Upon their having done so, Miss Ashton Bennett will sing our national anthem. We will follow Ashton by joining Eagle Scout, Mr. Thomas Fife, in the recitation of our Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, we would ask that all rise for the presentation of the colors, the singing of our national anthem, and the recitation of our pledge. We would also request that everyone remain standing until our Eagle Scouts have made their exit from the stage. A verbal invitation for everyone to be seated will follow. Consistent with flag etiquette, gentlemen, please remove your hats. Ladies, you may leave yours on.
Color guard, advance. Color guard, present the colors. Color guard, post the colors. To sing our national anthem, Miss Ashton Bennett.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
At this time, I'd ask you to please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color Guard, return to post.
Thank you. Please be seated. We'd also like to thank Thomas for serving as caller and for each of our Eagle Scouts for their participation. And of course, thank you goes to Ashton for singing our national anthem. My name is Steve Morgan. I'm the Deputy Superintendent for the Belton School District, and I have the honor to serve as your Master of Ceremonies this evening. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce Mr. Tyler Ortman. Tyler plans to attend Missouri State University in the spring of 2018. Prior to attending university, he will report to boot camp in San Diego, California on June 5th as part of his decision to enlist in the United States Marine Corps. Following his training in boot camp, his assignment as a reservist will be that of a machine gunner. As a reservist, he'll be able to attend Missouri State University for 4 years and earn his bachelor's degree. With his bachelor's in hand, Tyler plans to pursue officer candidate school in the U.S. Marine Corps. We are certainly proud of Tyler for his commitment, and we want to thank him as well as the members of his family. At this time, we would request those family members here to honor Tyler to please stand. And top left. Among family tonight is Tyler's dad, Mr. Rob Ortman. Mr. Ortman is a former Marine and is now a Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force. He has been deployed and served twice in Afghanistan during the past 5 years. We thank you, sir, for your service.
First, I would like to thank my family for their love and support. As for my dad, a special thank you for you have been my role model my entire life. I'm also so grateful for every member of my family who has supported my decision every step of the way. Mom, you rock too. I love you guys. I'm honored to have been chosen to extend the Belton High School invitation, an invitation to those in our audience who have currently served or have previously served as a member in the United States Armed Services. Please stand so we can thank you. Fellow graduates, there are several of you who, like myself, have also decided to join these ranks. We wish to honor you as well. Please stand. We thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. In a bit, we will ask all present to participate in a moment of silence, a moment to reflect on what too quickly becomes yesterday's news. Among those who serve overseas are men and women, many of whom have family and friends seated in this audience. We think about them as well as we recognize those who have lost their lives while serving our great nation. We also take time to consider those family and friends we hold dear, whose lives among us have been cut short due to a battle lost with disease and/or some other unforeseen event. Additionally, for those who are still with us but are unable to be present this evening because they are battling on their own. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you once again, Tyler. At this time, we request our senior band members join Mr. Daniel Ogle and Mr. Dylan Noble and the remainder of the Belton High School Band.
Good evening and welcome to Commencement 2017. My name is Phil Clark and I am the proud principal of the Belton High School. I would like to join our two student leaders and say thank you to each of you for being here to honor the members of the Belton High School class of 2017. Our senior class president, Miss Emily Hall, will attend Rockhurst University where she plans to major in communications with the ultimate goal of becoming a speech pathologist. And our student council president, Miss Madison Hunsaker, is headed to Missouri State University on a softball scholarship. Madison plans to study public relations with a minor in business. Emily and Madison, we also want to thank both of you for your earlier comments as well as your leadership over the past 3 years. Would you help me thank them? Our processional began with the top 10 plus 5 students of the class. We will meet them momentarily. Also leading the procession were our senior officers who have served their class and our school community admirably. In addition to Emily and Madison, we have Ashton Bennett, C.J. Christensen, Thomas Fife, Seth George, and Jaylee Simon. We thank you, our senior class officers. Graduates, your families, and your friends, over the next few minutes, I offer you not one original thought. Some may think, then why doesn't this guy just sit down? Rather, I'd ask that you entertain the possibility that the string of these non-original thoughts, when joined together, just might have some of you consider how you will elect to invest in yourselves and others and life itself as you continue your journey through the collection of moments which poet Linda Ellis refers to as the dash. So what is a moment? A little while, short time, bit, minute, instant, second, split second. All are synonymous. For Ellis, it is the collection of one's moments which produce the dash. These are those which exist between the person's very first breath through their final one. Yes, the dash is that little line which separates the dates found on one's tombstone. We may believe that the dialogue today about parallel histories is something novel. Guys, it's not. It is the conversation about history's apparent recurrence that has its origin centuries ago. Only the phrase, if we do not learn from history, we are doomed to repeat it, is relatively new. And that's credited to a 20th century philosopher named George Santayana. He actually wrote, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." His words generated a counter-argument which argued it matters very little for us to examine history because those that do remember or understand typically find themselves so outnumbered by those who don't, the cycle repeats itself regardless. So why speak of it? I'm convinced you have a choice. We have a choice, and we'll discuss this in a few moments. But before we do, there are a good number of reasons that we often choose poorly, or worse, we fail to recognize we have a choice at all. These reasons have to do with how our moments are filled in the first place. The challenge has much to do with how we address, navigate, and survive or thrive despite the dash that exists within the dash. As part of the examination, it's useful for us to acknowledge that there are circumstances which do influence one's perspective about the length of a moment. For example, consider the following question and answer. Now think about it. How long is a minute? Well, it depends on which side of the bathroom door you find yourself. I pause for those who need a little time to process. Just think about it. How difficult is it to think about anything else when you have to go? When you really got to go, you can't think about anything else. Speaking of bathrooms, and I do digress a bit, but with a purpose, I miss rest areas on interstate highways. They are being replaced by commercial complexes strategically positioned near off-ramps and sprinkled across this country. Certainly these places offer opportunity to address bodily discomfort we may experience, as well as provide the supply of soft drinks and/or snacks for us to consume so we can repeat the process all over again a few miles down the road. Like the cycle, just like history, you get the idea. Repeats itself. But part of the original function of the rest area has been lost. How many of you, show of hands, missed the rest area in the crowd? You see, in the mid to late 1920s, the rest area was designed to provide the weary traveler. Now listen to me, guys, and many of you don't even know what they are. It's a way to connect in that moment with one another and with the region while offering a place to rest. Whether it was a park-like setting with a canopy or a tent, or a picnic table where a family could sit down and you stroll around the park, or there was some historical account that was unique to that area, the space was designed to enhance the experience of the journey. One is hard-pressed to find that when your detour includes a McDonald's, a Love's, or a Pilot's truck stop. It's not the same. Graduates, a little less than 9 months ago, we met for the first time. It took place in a school gymnasium a few miles from here, and where we find ourselves at this very moment. In the collection of those moments, and as members of the senior class, you received our message. In it, we encourage you to be intentional about your final year at Belton High School and make it extraordinary. We highlighted the significance of choosing rigor, searching for relevance, and building relationships. We also made reference to the passing of time. Our exact phrase was, the next 9 months will pass in a blink, and before you know it, it will be 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. It will be May 16th, 2017, and you will be seated in an arena a few miles from where you find yourself at this very moment. Graduates, you and the moment are here. For 15 years, I've shared space with 3 objects that serve as a visual reminder. 2 contain sand, and 1 I've read while on a beach. The first is an hourglass, the second a 1-minute sand timer, and the third is a book. The hourglass was a gift. The sand timer was something our administrative team at the time presented to every staff member at another high school west of here in August of 2002. We did the same this past August with the staff at Belton High School. Why? This was done to reinforce a message, our message to the staff, and I want you to hear what the message was. Our students are precious. Moments are precious, and how we spend these moments together as colleagues and as partners with our students is important. The book is The Precious Present by Spencer Johnson. Guys, 100 milliseconds is 1/10 of 1 second, and in my mind, this is fast. According to research conducted at Princeton University, first impressions are made within 1 100 milliseconds. This is important on several levels. One, we all want to make a good first impression, and the time we have to do so is brief. The variables which influence this are several, including the number of observers that are present, cultural influences, physical appearance, specific context, an instantaneous evaluation about the intentions of the approaching subjects, as well as some neuroscience. Two, we too generate our first impressions of others, and our humanity forces us to make these judgments the same way others judge us. Finally, since we know this to be our human reality, we have a choice. In other words, because we know we are wired to make snap decisions about others, we are provided with reason to pause and consider the purity of our impressions, our first impressions of others. Let us consider for just a moment pace. This is the dash within the dash. We are rushing through life, bouncing from one thing to the next and attempting to become who it is we're becoming while surviving this list known as to do. A reminder to self. We amount to far greater than what it is that we do. This is life, and we make no argument that this is good or bad. We simply point out, hear it, be aware and beware of the pace. We must not allow ourselves to become so distracted we fail to show up for the beautiful gift, and that beautiful gift of the present and the beautiful gift of our life. Additionally, the sheer volume of what consumes our attention is mind-boggling. The stimulus enters our reality through hundreds of channels. Musical artist Jack Johnson, do you know him? Jack Johnson has a song called Good People. In it, he reflects on humanity's being bombarded by things negative in the world, and he poses a question. Where did all the good people go? It's clear his question is a rhetorical one, for we all know good people exist. They are among us. They fill this Silverstein arena. They include us. But if we're not careful, we find ourselves distracted by message upon message, story upon story, image upon image of people behaving badly. In his song, Johnson refers to this as the debris. Students, graduates, don't let the debris contribute negatively to the dash within your dash and rob you of your dash. Given how quickly we formulate our impressions, combined with the pace at which we find ourselves moving about our daily lives, then add to this the volume of material that draws our attention, the realities of the blink are quite easy to understand. I guess my question, stay with me, must we really accept the blink, or can we make some choices? Since I'm inclined to believe that there's this thing called free will, humankind's ability to choose between different possible courses of action, I'd argue, of course there's a choice. We should choose. My prayer for every single one of you in here, and that's all of us, is that we don't just live, each of us chooses to show up for life. If we simply pay attention, slow things down, we will continue to experience challenges in our everyday, but we can also realize our capacity to find and share meaning and joy which surrounds us and share that with those among us. Certainly one would not argue this is easy, but there is an opportunity for us to empower ourselves. So again, I invite you to choose. A year ago, my wife and I traveled to Memphis, and yes, we stopped at a number of McDonald's along the way. We went to celebrate the birthday of one of our 8 grandchildren, soon to be 9. And attended dance rehearsal and 2 soccer games. The weather forced the cancellation of the soccer games, so instead the pace slowed down. And on the wet patio in the backyard, we played Foursquare, and it was wonderful. The contestants, the birthday girl, their brother, her brother, their dad, their 2 grandpas, Daddy Tom and Papa, and I'm Papa. Truly one of my favorite words. Anyway, the game of Foursquare has a beautiful and simple rule, and it is liners or do-overs. Bottom line, if there's some question As to whether the ball went in or out, you get a redo. In the moment, one doesn't dwell on it. He just simply says, liners or do-overs. It's as if time freezes and everybody stays in the same square and you play it again. We made memories on that day. Driving home on that Sunday, somewhere between two separate McDonald's, I was thinking about graduates, the very ones we teachers and administrators have the good fortune to spend considerable time with. I can tell you, each of you, those of us who get to spend this time with you, we think about you a lot. Specifically, I think about you and your experiences here in Belton. I think about you in the past year that we've spent together. I couple these thoughts with the lessons learned from the game of Foursquare, and I think about liners or do-overs. I think, stay with me, if each of you were given a do-over, what would it be? This is not so that you would dwell on the past, rather you give for yourself a choice to make a different choice moving forward. When we think about time, seldom do I think of age. Instead, I tend to roll it over. In other words, if we go back to that day in August where we were sitting there, roll it over 1 year forward. Now, what should my focus be now so that in this moment, so that when we arrive at the next then, there will be greater satisfaction with how we made our choices and how we experienced and lived life during the journey from the now to the then. Do you get it? Roll it over. If we're to accept that any part of history does repeat itself, or at least there is a parallel, there's some rationale you're going to be given another choice and given a do-over in the future. We're about there. 2 years ago at commencement, I shared a little bit about Grandpa and the realization which surfaced during my closing moments with him. You see, grandmother was no longer with us. He lived not far from a junior high where I was the principal. Every day for 10 years I went to that school. My grandpa loved to laugh and he loved Taco Bell. There was a Taco Bell close, guys. All I had to do, swing by Taco Bell, bring a box of tacos, sit down with Grandpa, share a taco, share a laugh. Is there regret? I didn't do it. Sure, there's regret, and I miss him, and we missed out. But I'm even more thankful than I am sorry, because the lesson learned at that time was, if we're not intentional, the risk is great that history is going to repeat itself. Take a moment, look over this past year, do not dwell. But if given an opportunity to do a do-over, what would you elect to do differently? If you are willing, share that one thing with the person next to you. So everyone, go back in time 1 year. Think about it. Is there anything that you would do differently? If you're willing and able, share it with your neighbor at this time. We good? Here we go. Thank you. Every one of us wants to be relevant. We want others to see our face. We want them to look in our eyes, hear our heart, and know of our value. I sincerely hope that each of you realize that I and those joining us tonight do see value, and we have faith in each of you. We have faith in you and your actions, and know that they will make a difference for you and those around you. Guys, faith is something special. Faith is trust. Faith is something that gives one hope. I'd also argue, now hear the point, whether one's talking about faith in a higher power, in oneself, or in others, the opposite of faith is not doubt. It is apathy. I'd argue doubt is something which is natural and something we should not fear. But to have apathy is to say whatever. To have apathy is to say, I give up. Don't give up. Whether it is a battle or the pursuit of a dream, care enough to cling to the hope, care enough to battle through the doubt, find your faith, and fight all temptation to give up. Guys, the spirit of whatever, not doubt, is the enemy. Whatever, not doubt, is the enemy. Again, I may not be capable of one single original thought, but this message is delivered out of love because the love we have for each of you is real. So if you've not heard a single word until now, please pay attention to those of us in the arena and know this: you are loved and you are encouraged to explore within yourself your love for others. Audience, I need your help here in just a moment. In a moment, I'm going to ask each of you in the audience to repeat a message along with me to our graduates, and then we're going to say it a second time. Graduates, please join your hands. Do it now. Close your eyes. Bow your heads. That's you too, Sean. And I want you to imagine the faces of those that are speaking specifically and directly to you. They're here with you right now. Audience, you ready? Once again, I'm going to say the phrase, then I'm going to point to you, and we're going to say the phrase together, and then we'll say it a second time together. Graduates, our message to you: yes, I am supposed to, but I love you because I want to. Audience, yes, I am supposed to, but I love you because I want to. Second time, yes, I am supposed to, but I love you because I want to. Okay, graduates, eyes up. In closing, my sincere hope and prayer for each of you here this evening, and this does include everybody in the arena, during what remains of your dash, during what remains of our dash, we will do what we must do. We will do what we need to, we will love as we were intended to, and we will arrive at the place that we just do, not because we should or because we have to, but because we want to. Graduates, show up for life, do what you love, and love one another. I love you always. At this time, it is most appropriate to recognize and thank the dignitaries who have joined us this evening to participate in our ceremony. We are honored and know quite well the energy and service that they bring to their respective roles. But before he introduces them, I invite you to join me and let us show our appreciation for the leadership of our superintendent, Dr. Andy Underwood. Dr. Underwood.
Good evening. I would like to introduce our school board members briefly. I want to thank them first for their tireless commitment, their dedication to you seniors here tonight, and the youth of the Belton School District in our community. It's not an easy job, and I appreciate them. Tonight, if you'd please stand, Mr. Jerry Miller, our board president. Former teacher and our vice president, Miss Linda Wilkins. Board member, Mr. Jim Armelio. And board member, Miss Karen Fletcher. Also joining us on stage, as he has for the last 24 years, I don't have words. Mr. John West, please come forward. John, Mr. Miller is going to join us and give you a couple of special tokens of our appreciation for your 24 years of service. We have one item that we'd like to give you, a certificate of appreciation for years of service and also your continued commitment for meeting the needs of our Belton youth. Okay.
Also, we'd like to present you with a Top Pirate medallion as an expression of our regard for your tireless effort and commitment to many board meetings and to all the students that have graduated prior to 2017. So thank you very much, John. You guys will be seated. I want to thank you guys, board, again as well. Appreciate it. Also, I'd like to say a special thanks to my central office team that's here tonight and for all their help in making all the things that happen behind the scenes. Our Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Miss Lisa Cummings. Lisa, if you'd please stand up. As you guys have seen, Dr. Steve Morgan, our Deputy Superintendent tonight. So Steve, thank you. Our Assistant Superintendent for Finance, Dr. Bob Poisel. Bob. And our newest member to the team, our Curriculum and Instruction School Improvement, Dr. Lorenzo Rizzi. Thank you. Now, as we move forward, it's my pleasure to introduce our Belton High School band once again. You guys have done a lovely job. Hope you continue to do that. Mr. Dan Ogle, our first-year band director. Dan, thank you so much for what you've done. So the piece that the band will perform was chosen by the senior members. It is entitled Forrest Gump Suite. It is by Alan Silvestri and arranged by Calvin Custer. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Thank you to Mr. Ogle, Mr. Noble, and the Belton High School Band. Senior members of the band, thank you for entertaining us over the past 4 years. You may return to your seats. Could we have Miss Rachel Berry, Miss Bethany Hasberger, and Miss Sarah McMillan approach the stage? As these ladies approach, we'll take this time to acknowledge students who, aside from missing time from class as a result of school-related activity, have had perfect attendance as a Belton High School student and have attended for at least 1 full year. Hunter Caldwell, Caitlin DeCam, Dylan Elliott, Tad Gaston, Louis Hinojos, Andrew Murray, Luke Roush, Matthew Sanchez, Eamon Tahir, Elliot Tuttle, Corey Walbrink, and Nathaniel Ware. Now, Mr. Clark informs me that Hunter was in the nurse's office once, and Elliot, where are you at? See, there was one day that you arrived about 9 minutes late. That was a flat tire, was it not? Those of you just mentioned for perfect attendance, please stand so that you can be recognized. Now let us have those who have earned an attendance medallion for having over 98% attendance over their high school career. Please stand. Congratulations to each of you. Miss Rachel Berry has been chosen to deliver one of our honorary senior speeches. She will be followed by Miss Bethany Hasberger and Miss Sarah McMillan, who will perform For Good. Rachel?
Okay, Dad, are you listening? Okay. 3 years ago, my dad bet me $50 that I wouldn't be able to open a commencement speech with the words, "These are the times that try men's souls." But now it's time for him to put his money where his mouth is. Because college is really expensive and I've been fiscally irresponsible for the last 18 years, I need to do whatever it takes now to earn a little extra quick cash. Originally said to inspire troops during the American Revolution, it also has a place here at graduation, which, if you haven't already figured it out, is the first day of the rest of your life. Today is exciting, and today is kind of scary too. We're gearing up to leave behind some of the only things we've ever known, the only place we've ever known, and certainly one of the only routines that's ever really been fixed. Today is exciting, not just because we're getting our diplomas, but also because we're getting ready to embark on a journey that will allow us to live our best lives. We're no longer taking any courses because the government tells us we have to get here, or because society tells us it's important to have the degree. Today is the only day that we get to start making decisions based on our passions and desires. We start working to meet goals we set years ago, and we start to establish ourselves as people who are part of something so much bigger than themselves. While I'm excited to move on from high school, I can't help but look back at the last 13 years pretty fondly. In that time, I've learned a lot. And I'm talking about all the math, some of the science, and a good chunk of that reading and writing too. But I'm mostly talking about the way that we learn to interact with each other and the community that we live in. In the last 13 years, I've learned that the best resources that I have are the ones that I never thought about. Yes, my peers are my most important resource. As we grow up and make our way in the world, we'll begin to realize more and more that the things we have are just things. And the things that we get to cultivate, personal growth and change, relationships with others, and improvements in our communities, are the most important parts of life. It's something we all know, but not something we're always aware of because, and even I'll admit it, sometimes shiny cars, pretty jewelry, and nice chocolate can seem pretty dang important. But at the end of the day, cars get crashed, earrings get lost, and chocolate gets eaten. but the bonds we have with one another last. The people we're with on the floor tonight are bonded to us pretty heavily. They're the people that helped us learn to share, to communicate, and to grow. And they're the people that we're bonded to. Next year, we'll be split up in all corners of the country, following dreams and pursuing passions. And while we may not have class together, or Friday nights at the football stadium, or late night study sessions at McDonald's, we'll still have the memories and lessons learned alongside those who we grew up with. The people around us are our most valuable resource. As you follow your dreams, wherever that journey may take you, don't forget about those of us you met here at home. And don't forget to come back sometimes. Class of 2017, onward and upward are the only directions of movement we will tolerate. Believe in yourself and believe in each other. Stay humble, but always stay proud. Follow your dreams without fear, and remember that home will always be just a hop, skip, jump, long drive, or plane ride away. Thank you for helping me grow, and congratulations on your graduation. Now to perform the song For Good are Bethany Hasberger and Sarah McMillan.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are
Thank you, Bethany. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Rachel. Let's give these ladies one more round of applause for a job well done. While these ladies make their way back to their seats, I'll invite the top 10 to report onto the stage. Joining them will be our senior class administrator, Dr. Denise Ronhell, and senior class counselor, Mr. Brent Metlin. Prior to recognizing our top 10, we'll take a few moments to acknowledge our +5. And this year, there are actually 6 because there was a tie back in April when these students were identified. These 6 are those who have been in the race for the top 10 distinction. The students who comprise the top 10 +5 are those who were ranked in the top 15 over the first 7 semesters and thus earned the privilege to lead the class of 2017 into the arena. Assisting Dr. Ronhell and Mr. Metlin with the presentation of our top 10 medallions will be our board president, Mr. Jerry Miller. Dr. Ronhell.
As was stated, our +6 have performed admirably in their pursuit of a rigorous curriculum. They have, throughout their high school experience, pushed themselves and their peers. They've had considerable success and are, in some cases, mere hundredths of a point away from standing among the top 10. I will ask each of you to please stand when your name is called and remain standing. In alphabetical order, our runners-up, if you will, are Caden Ballou, Brianna Matthews, Sarah McMillan, Blake Smith, Annie Spencer, and William Truitt. Congratulations to each of you. Truly a job well done. Thank you. You may be seated. Now a little about our top 10 and their choice to experience a rigorous curriculum. The average number of weighted courses taken by our top 10 students was 12. In other words, 37.5 of all the courses taken by these students carried additional weight. Furthermore, each of those in the top 10 have taken at least 8 of those courses. Rachel Berry and Haley Wells have the distinction of having taken the most. Both took and earned credit in 18 weighted courses during their high school careers. This represents 56% of all of their coursework. Our top 10, and in ascending order to receive their well-deserved recognition and medallion, are Luke Roush, Leanne Cates, Bethany Elkins, Kylie Giacconi, Caitlin DeCamp, Rachel Berry, Haley Gaglatko, Joseph Lind, Haley Wells, and Shannon Copeland. As these students return to their seats, please join me one more time and let us offer our congratulations to our top 10. Thank you. Remaining on stage and here to present their combined valedictorian and salutatorian address, this year's valedictorian, Ms. Shannon Copeland, and our salutatorian, Ms. Haley Wells.
My name is Shannon Copeland, and I am the valedictorian of the class of 2017.
And my name is Haley Wells, and I'm the salutatorian of the class of 2017.
Our positions are unique, not only in the achievements they indicate, but in their impermanence. This is the last valedictorian and salutatorian address that a Belton High School graduate will give. Regardless of this change, many wise words will be spoken in years to come by those without the labels we bear, and stories of their success will ring throughout this hall.
Success. What is success? Shannon and I stand before you today solely because we were successful academically throughout high school. Although these accomplishments are laudable, they are by no means the only forms of success that merit celebration. Everybody has their own interpretation of what success is, their own goals, their own improvements they want to make in their lives.
My main goal in life has always been to do well in school. Since before I can remember, I have pursued success in my classes and in extracurriculars. As a section leader in band, vice president of Belton Service Learning, a member of the robotics team, and a weekend employee at a grocery store, I've had my share of extracurricular activities. Suffice it to say, I've had to manage my time and energy in interesting ways. And I worked to persevere, battling apathy and senioritis along the way. I pushed myself to reach my aspirations, even on days when I was tired and I just felt done, because I wanted my goals to come to fruition.
My life has also revolved around activity. I played softball, ran track, and participated in powerlifting. I've worked in a pharmacy for the past 2 years, averaging over 20 hours a week. To meet every expectation of being an employed student athlete was hard. There were days when I didn't want to get up, I felt overworked, I felt trapped in a never-ending cycle of living the same day over and over again. But I found motivation. Knowing that everything I was doing was going to benefit me and help me achieve my life goal was enough to get me out of bed in the morning.
Take a look at the programs you're holding in your hands, the part with our names. They denote many academic successes this class has achieved. There's quite a lot to be praised, but those little symbols by our names are not the only definition of our success. We have both pursued our goals with determination and persistence. But this effort Haley and I have poured into our lives is not unique to us. I'm speaking not only to you, class of 2017. I'm speaking to everybody here when I say that I am proud of every goal you're pursuing. Maybe you're working towards a healthier body, or going to college no matter your age. Or perhaps you're a single parent who's worked for years to get your kid to this hall in this cap and gown. I'd like us all to take a moment to recognize our accomplishments.
But what about goals we haven't pursued or that have petered out? Have you ever let a New Year's resolution or some other goal die away? Too many people want to better themselves but can't find the motivation or the energy to do so. We procrastinate. We tell ourselves, I'll start tomorrow, for real this time. But why not today?
Why not today? What motivates you to accomplish things? Is it praise, money, deadlines, food? Whatever makes you get things done, harness it. Push yourself and use it to reach your goals. Be persistent and use your sources of motivation to improve yourself.
Success is intentional. It's not something you stumble across as you go through life. It's not served to you on a silver platter, no matter your talents or previous achievements. You have to make the choice every day to improve yourself and pursue success.
Besides a lack of motivation, what limits us? For many, it's fear. There are plenty of common fears: spiders, heights, judgment, public speaking. But one fear that holds almost everybody back from achievement is that of failure. This fear has plagued me all my life. It can sometimes be a source of motivation while achieving our goals, but more commonly, it keeps us from setting commendable goals in the first place. We choose goals that are small and manageable, and sometimes that's all we can do. But to really improve ourselves, we have to set lofty goals, ones we won't achieve easily or maybe at all. Failure shows us what our limits are and prepares us to transcend them.
My fellow athletes especially know that failure is essential to achieve greatness. In the weight room, we have to fail first before we can improve. You all know Usain Bolt, the fastest man on earth. He's a gifted runner, but he didn't win every race. And he wasn't born running in the Olympics. Time and time again, he faced injuries and adversity. So why is he considered the greatest sprinter of all time? Because he worked to beat himself. He said that setting a personal record was more of a success than it was to win.
Bill Gates. You all know him. He's the guy who co-founded Microsoft. But before he created one of the most prominent computing companies, he dropped out of Harvard to found a startup company called TrafoData, and it was a complete flop. Imagine if Bill Gates had quit working with computers after that failure. The world as we know it would be radically different. Instead, he used what he had learned to create one of the most profitable computing ventures in history.
But you don't have to be the best to be successful. Your goal is important, whether it's as ambitious as becoming a CEO or as tame as cooking something new. As for me, I'm planning on growing up to be a licensed drug dealer. For the next 6 years, I plan to study at UMKC to get my doctorate degree in pharmacy. However, the journey so far has not been without struggle. I took the AP chemistry exam at the end of my junior year, and I was dismayed to see that I had scored a 1, the lowest possible score. So studying extra hard at chemistry will be necessary in order for me to achieve my PharmD.
As for me, I'm striving to become a valuable member of a computer engineering team. As part of my journey, I've committed myself to robotics. My sophomore and junior years, I qualified to the VEX National and World Championships, and I was determined to do so again my senior year. But I failed. In my determination to succeed, I wrongly chose not to lean on my teammates, trying to do most of the work myself. I didn't fully accept that I'm only one person, and I can only do so much. In order to achieve my goal of being part of a collaborative and successful engineering team, I'll have to improve my teamwork abilities tenfold.
Other people are necessary for all of us to achieve our goals. Even individual success is built on support and influence from others. These people don't have to be your family or even your friends. They may be your understanding boss, your knowledgeable teacher, or some stranger in the street performing an act of kindness. Anybody can act as a role model, influencing the decisions we make and the goals we choose to chase.
So many people are here to help you achieve what you want in life. Hopefully your friends, family, and teachers have supported you and encouraged you when you have failed. And if they haven't, find people who will. Your road to success doesn't have to be a road less traveled by. Haley and I have known each other since the 3rd grade. We've completed countless projects together, and we've both dedicated ourselves to academic success. And though our high school paths diverged, we've still helped each other along the way.
We've been a part of each other's support networks, collections of teachers, friends, and family who have helped us on our journey to success, and we are incredibly thankful for everybody who has been there for us. As you plan for your future, remember that people are there to support you. Allow these people to help you grow and point you in the right direction. These relationships contribute to your happiness, and happiness is one of the most worthy goals of all.
I want everyone to think for a few seconds. What do you want to achieve in life? What can you do to make you happy?
Okay, now what are you going to do to get there?
Whether the goal you pursue is academic,
Athletic,
serving,
working,
changing the world,
or as simple as getting up in the morning,
success is out there, so go and make it yours.
Thank you, Shannon and Haley. One would certainly expect nothing less from these two. Both are being presented a plaque for their achievements. Let's congratulate them one more time. As Shannon mentioned, these two do represent the final valedictorian and salutatorian at Belton High School. In the fall of 2013, it was determined that the Belton School District would move toward a cum laude system in order to recognize greater numbers of students for their academic performance and ultimately phase out the valedictorian and salutatorian honors. In the meantime, both systems were recognized, and this practice of recognizing the two systems ends after this evening. While Shannon and Haley have made it to their seats, we'll recognize some additional students for having achieved cum laude status. As you'll find in your program, students have an opportunity to earn cum laude, or graduate with honors distinction. To earn cum laude status, one must achieve a specific grade point average, or GPA requirement. They must earn a specific score on the ACT or the SAT. They must earn a specific score on an advanced placement or AP exam. They must score proficient on all of the required EOCs. EOC stands for End of Course Exams. They must satisfy the college prep required curriculum, earn a minimum of 27 credits, and participate in a minimum of either 2 or 4 extracurricular activities depending on their level of distinction. The class of 2017 can boast 35 who have earned cum laude status. Those earning this level of distinction wear a white stole to identify them with this achievement. In order to reach this level of distinction, one must have met the aforementioned requirements and achieved the following: a 3.5 GPA and a 22 on the ACT or 990 on the SAT. We'd ask all students who have achieved cum laude status to please stand and be recognized. Cum laude students, congratulations and thank you. You may be seated. Prior to having our magna cum laude students stand, we'd ask Mr. Brian Stuck and the members of the senior choir to approach the stage and move into position. Mr. Don Shelby, we ask that you do the same. The silver stole identifies our magna cum laude students. The class of 2017 has 12. Ladies and gentlemen who've earned this distinction, please stand, and if your name is Don Shelby, Caden Ballou, Annie Spencer, or Will Truitt, and you're making your way to the stage, please wave. In order to reach this level of distinction, one must have met the aforementioned requirements and achieved the following: a 3.8 GPA, a 26 on the ACT or 1190 on the SAT, at least 1.3 on the AP exam. Magna cum laude students, congratulations. You may be seated. The gold stole symbolizes one having earned the highest level of distinction. These are our summa cum laude students, and the class of 2017 has 3. Please stand when your name is called. Our summa cum laude students are Rachel Berry, Shannon Copeland, and Kylie Giacconi. In order to reach this level of distinction, one must have met the aforementioned requirements and achieved the following: a 4.0 GPA, a 31 on an ACT or a 1380 on the SAT, at least 1.4 on an AP exam, and have participated in 4 or more extracurricular activities. Please help me congratulate our summa, magna, and cum laude students. Now, under the direction of Mr. Brian Stuck, and here to perform Soul Speak, are the members of our senior choir.
Oh
Thank you to Mr. Stuck and our senior choir. You may return to your seats. Thank you. Before we hear from our final honorary speaker and our duet, we invite the following to please stand: Rachel Berry, Shannon Copeland, Kylie Giacconi, Victor Ortiz, Blake Smith. The graduates standing before you are our Bright Flight graduates. In the state of Missouri, graduates who achieve a 31 or better on the ACT exam earn this status, and they gain access to additional funds to support their higher education. Congrats to our 2017 Bright Flight graduates. Thank you. You may be seated. It is also customary to take a moment during commencement ceremonies across the country to acknowledge those amongst the graduates who've earned the distinction of being a National Merit Finalist. National Merit Finalist is a most prestigious honor, and it's reserved for those students who scored in the upper 1/2 of the top 1% of the 1.5 million brightest students across the nation who took the PSAT qualifying test. We do have a National Merit Finalist. We draw attention once again to Miss Shannon Copeland. We ask her and her family and friends who've come here this evening to celebrate Shannon to please stand as well. In addition to being our class valedictorian and having achieved summa cum laude status, Shannon is a National Merit Finalist. Shannon will attend Washington University in St. Louis and major in computer engineering. Shannon, those here to celebrate commencement 2017, reserve this very moment to celebrate you, our National Merit Finalist. Congratulations. Mr. Don Shelby has also been chosen to deliver our final honorary senior speech. He will be followed by Miss Ashton Bennett, who will perform I Lived. Don?
First and foremost, I would like to say thank you. Thank you to my family for always supporting me. Thank you to all the teachers and administrators at Belton High School for always believing in me. That corny guy who will always crack a joke in the classroom at the wrong time. Thank you to my close friends who helped ground me in this tough academic environment, showing me that there is more to high school than grades and test scores. Last but not least, thank you to my class, the class of 2017, a group of people I have only spent 4 years with, but it's might as well been a lifetime. Through this experience, I've met future doctors and lawyers and future mathematicians. I've met future chefs and future politicians. I have also met a whole lot of people who don't know what they want to do, and that is okay, because we're all here today because we did it. We represent a class at Belton full of character, pride, and glory, and I wouldn't have traded this class for any other class out there. As we approach the end of our career here at Belton, I decided to take a step outside the glass bubble. I found that it seemed as if we're going through the motions of high school. I found that we were wasting time just ignoring everything that was going on around us. It seemed that everyone was so stuck in the next step of their life, they forgot to keep 1 foot grounded in the present. I myself am all too guilty of this. Oftentimes, we find ourselves too focused on our future to the point where we don't embrace the present. High school is a one-shot deal, and for many of us, it is the last time we'll spend every waking moment of the day surrounded by people who are just like us. It is the last time we don't have to worry about adult things because we're here in the safe confinements of adolescence. Today, I want to ask you guys, are you living or are you just existing? This is a quote by Tyler Perry himself. It challenges us to redefine our meaning of living. If you struggle to think of 3 hobbies, then I'm sorry. You, my fellow classmates, are just existing. From this day forward, I challenge not only you all, but everyone in this room. Get back into that hobby that you once loved, but found you had little time for. Get back into going to the gym like you told yourself you would on New Year's. Call your old friends, call your new friends, call your family, and ask them if they would like to sit and have lunch one day. Let us all start to appreciate this one life that we have. It is all too easy for us to get caught up in school and our careers and everything else we juggle. Before we know it, class of 2017, we'll look up and we're going to be 30. Let us fulfill our life with days of joy and substance. Let us all start to look at the world with a new pair of eyes, appreciating even the tiniest fruits it presents to us. So far, I have spent roughly 18 years of my life dreaming of where I want to be and dreaming of what I want to do. The next 18 years of my life, I want to spend doing the things I have never dreamed of, as well as doing the things I've always dreamed to do. What I wanted to tell you all today is to never stop dreaming. However, know that there is going to come a time where we all need to take charge of those dreams. Today is the day where we can all start living our dreams. From here on out, the Belton class of 2017 is going to do whatever it takes to be happy, and whatever it takes to make our biggest dreams come true. Sorry, guys. Now to perform the song, I Lived, Miss Ashton Bennett.
I hope when you take that jump, you don't feel the fall. And I hope when that water rises, you build a wall. And I hope when the crowd screams out, they're screaming your name. I hope if everybody runs, you choose to stay. I hope that you fall in love and it hurts so bad. And the only way you can know is give it all you have. And I wish that I could witness all your joy and all your pain. But until your moment comes, you'll say, I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. Saw so many places, the things that I did. With every broken bone, I swear I lived. And I hope that you spend your days, but they all add up. And when that sun goes down, hope you raise your cup. And I hope that you don't suffer, but take the pain. But until my moment comes, I'll say, I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. Saw so many places, the things that I did. With every broken bone, I swear I lived. I swear I lived. I swear I did it all. We did it all. We owned every second that this world could give. Saw so many places, the things that we did. With every broken bone, I swear we lived.
Thank you to Ashton. Thank you to Don. Job well done. Thank you, guys. The most current figures we have, as reported by you, the class of 2017, are as follows. This class, your class, has been offered $2.3 million in scholarship money. $1.5 million in academic money and $835,000 in athletic money. Of this, you've accepted $813,000 in athletics plus $887,000 of academic money for a total of $1,700,000 of scholarship money accepted. Let's give these guys a hand. Congratulations, class of 2017. Of the 252 of you, there is not one. And it is difficult to believe, but our records reveal not one of you from this class celebrates a May 16 birthday. So instead, we look to the date that precedes it and the one that follows. On May 15th, 1999, Chance Van Eaton was born. Chance, would you please stand? And would your family please stand? Chance, remain standing, my friend. We do this, where's Mom? There we go, family's in the house. We do this just because. Mom and Dad, 18 years ago, you were ready to greet a newborn. You received a son. Your miracle arrived. What a wonderful and blessed gift. We are thankful that you've shared Chance with us. Chance, congratulations, happy birthday. Under your seat, you'll find a little gift from us. Savannah Goldston, Caleb Hodges, would you please stand? If you were a mere 1 day older, you'd have been there with him. I'm sorry, go ahead. To each of you, congratulations and happy birthday plus a couple of days, so go ahead and look under your seat, you got a gift too. In closing, class of 2017, every day is precious. Each of you is precious, and each of us who's had children can look back on the very day that you were born into our family. We were able to hold you in our arms, and on that day we began to realize just how precious you are and how much joy you bring to our lives. In a number of ways, during this stretch of time when your parents have shared you with us, it has felt a great deal like you're our children as well. Again, you are pure joy. We are proud of you. Thank you for being you. Seated to your right and to your left are your fellow students. They are your classmates. Look after one another. Stay in touch and cherish that which you've had an opportunity to share. You are the 123rd class of Belton High School, the class of 2017. On the outer edge of your row, you'll see a number of teaching staff and other staff who've shared their time, expertise, and commitment to you. In the stands surrounding you, you have loved ones that also have a personal investment in you, an investment of love. A while back, we learned a simple sign. That was the I and the L and the Y, I love you. Sometime this evening, when the ceremony is over, take the time, send that message to your classmates, your teachers, your loved ones. Send them that I love you message. Class of 2017, I love you, and I congratulate you, and I thank you. Dr. Underwood, would you please come forward? Dr. Underwood, love you guys. Love you guys. Share it with those guys out there now, would you? Find your parent right now. Find your family. I love you always. Crowd, this is the sign for always right there. You put it together, you got I love you always. Let's all do it right here. Everybody participates in Clark 101. Get your hands up. Everybody, let's go. I love you. Send it down to these guys. There we go. Moving on. Dr. Underwood, members of the Belton School District leadership team, and to the members of the Board of Education. It is with a great amount of pride that we, the faculty and administration of Belton High School, present to you the members of the 2017 Belton High School senior class who fulfilled the requirements for graduation as approved by the Missouri Board of Education and augmented and developed by the local Board of Education, District 124.
First off, seniors, there's one person I'd be remiss if we did not thank for joining us this year and to make this night great as well as your first year. Thank you, Mr. Phil Clark. By the authority of the Missouri School Board, by the Missouri Department of Education, by the Belton Board of Education, and my honor that these students before us have met the requirements for graduation. I want to confer upon you guys, congratulations for 2017, Belton High School, you made it. Great job.
Thank you. Okay, as was stated earlier, we do sincerely thank you for being here and to honor the members of the class. There are those here in this audience, right here in front of us, that represent the first in their family to have graduated. And we also have guests from miles away. We do ask that you be reverent in our conduct so that we can hear every single member's name read across this PA system. Additionally, we would also ask that you hold your applause afterwards, after our student council president and senior class president, senior officers, and top 10 come up onto stage and have these students turn their tassel for their one last act together. They'll turn their tassel, and then what will happen is they will lead this song, they'll lead this class and this audience in singing the alma mater. At this time, we would request the class of 2017, beginning with row 1, to please come forward to receive your diplomas. While they're doing that, we've got just a minute while they get back and get their picture taken. Let's do a little 7th inning stretch. Everybody stand up and stretch just a little bit. Go ahead. Miss Sumler? Miss Sumler? Miss Sumler, go ahead. Row A, please go ahead. Okay, let's go ahead and grab our seat. We'll be ready momentarily. While our graduates make the stage, before we begin, okay, this is awful hot. Before we begin, we wish to thank the following. Would you help me thank Dr. Steve Morgan for serving as our Masters of Ceremony? We had some underclassmen that helped us with tonight's activity. This includes our student ambassadors and the members of our band. Would you please thank them? We want to thank our good friends from Jostens, Maywood Printing, Rose Farm for their help here as well. Again, and then we also wish to thank Belton Cares, the Belton Police Department, and all those who will help share with the responsibility for after grad later this evening. Again, we thank you for your cooperation as the graduates' names are being read. Mr. Mullen, we're about ready. Rose, we'll go ahead and get in line as your row comes up. Mr. Mullen, or excuse me, Mr. Carter, you're gold, aren't you? Mr. Carter, let's get this thing going.
Presenting Shannon Rosemary Copeland.
Emily Elizabeth Hall.
Caitlin Marie DeCam.
Madison Elizabeth Hunsaker.
Haley Nicole Wells.
Seth Ryan George.
Haley Tyne Galatko.
Jaylee Bryn Steinman.
Kylie Danielle Giacconi.
Kristen Jerry Christensen.
Leanne Marie Cates.
Ashton Mackenzie Bennett.
Luke Parker Roush.
Thomas Allen Fife.
Bethany Ray Elkins.
Cynthia Irene Reed.
Rachel Jane Berry.
Trey Farrer Blanchard.
Joseph James Lind.
Garrison Edward Whitney.
Tyler Christopher Mollendorp.
Sophia Ratzenbach.
Sarah Elizabeth McMillan.
Lisa Koenig.
Chance Michael Van Eaton.
Leona Letizia Klein.
Blake Eric Smith.
Clayton Allen Statz.
William Hunter Truitt.
Robert Tyler Ortman.
Molly Nicole Mason.
Malik Dewan Claiborne.
Annie Noel Spencer.
Kaylee Elaine Gaston.
Tawanrat Rungpitipang.
Jordan Harris Shirelli.
Caden Joliet Ballou.
Nathaniel Charles Ware.
Nicholas Grant Ballou.
Tad Michael Gaston.
Mallory Rose Carlson.
Elliot Harrison Tuttle.
Brianna Rose Matthews.
Matthew Connor Lewis.
Christopher Alexander Cantu.
Christopher Allen White.
Benjamin Nicholas Stone.
Owen Michael McConville.
Jessica Jasmine Gracia.
Dawson Micah McConnell.
Madeline Caitlin Bradley.
Emily Aaron Case.
Caitlin Noel Frazier.
Dallas Michael Allen.
Zachary Lee Gerke.
Matthew Arthur Sanchez.
Antonio Nicholas Enna.
Charles Michael Raymond Vestal.
Broderick Joe Harms.
Roman Louis Madrigal.
Nicholas James Minahan.
Patience Hope Arndt.
Brandon Matthew Reynolds.
Brittany Jordan Winter.
Tyrell Neal White.
Emily Tanner Thibodeau.
Dylan Wayne Smith.
Justin James Campbell.
Brenna Marlena Rose Acosta.
Alyssa Renee Bauman.
Renee Alexandria Cross.
Sonoma Cheyenne Hillibert.
Eamon Tahir.
Rachel Autumn Condit.
Ben Schlunkus.
Samantha Maxine Alsop.
Jonathan Gabriel Howard.
Gabrielle Lee Bradbury.
Dawson Raymond Corview.
Amber Mariah Higgins.
Jonas Guldbrand Rasmussen.
Sierra Renee Swisher.
Oscar Alexis Escamilla.
Kiara Ide Cotton.
Luis Daniel Hinojos.
Kelsey Mary Vaughn.
Emmanuel Hernandez.
Madison Suzette Fulton.
Juan Jose Garcia.
Morgan Renee Pike.
Jaime Israel Rocha.
Bridget Baldwin.
Kara Nicole Caponetto.
Diana Adele Guerrero.
Suzanne Michelle Strike.
Kelsey Ray Locke.
Brandon Matthew Gibbs.
Aaron Sidney Forte.
Corey Leslie Walbrink.
Priscilla Mary Ann Cummins.
Caleb Daniel Hodges.
Nia Nicole Hall.
Thomas John Bledsoe.
Don Elton Shelby III.
Benjamin Storm Flores.
Andrew Kelvin York.
Bryce Thomas Trey Hall.
Mary Ruth Martina Owens.
John Dean Zulch.
Denise Sine Lewis Johnson.
Jack Cameron Bird.
Jada Johan Marshall.
Dalton Wayne Schroeder.
Larry Solomon Crossley Cooks.
Jacob Duran Amos.
Lonnie Wilborn Harrell Jr.
Zachary Carl Wolf.
Anya Ani Anderson.
Matthew Booker Epps.
Tiandra Lynn Smith.
Jacob Allen Folk.
Courtney Keith.
Matthew James Merritt, Jr.
Sean Michael Weston.
Isabella Catherine Nelson.
Davion Rayshawn West.
Hannah Olivia Phillips.
Casey Elijah Wyatt.
Brianna Mackenzie Alexander.
Teo Joseph Johnson.
Miranda Judith Sedell Celestine.
Colton Don Bryant.
Sarah Nicole DeToma.
Selena Ramos Hinojos.
Abby Danielle Czar.
Avester Burnett Cooks Jr.
Andrew Joseph Murray.
Irandi Atsidi Placencia.
Logan Michael Batts.
Jennifer Martinez.
Jacob Russell Partridge.
Courtney Roxanne Lewis.
Brendan Richard Hackaday.
Sydney Lynette Bandy.
Jonathan Thomas Buttry.
Jordan Alexandria Harris.
Kelly Marie Finley.
Alexis Vale Smith.
Zoe Leanne Deckett.
Roger Maurice McDaniel Jr.
William Lee Baker II.
Mallory Irene Smith.
Victor Everett Ortiz.
Nicholas Ian Snyder.
Raymond Eugene Gonzalez.
Dalton Joseph Chastain.
Nia Monique Renee Brown.
Annie Lorraine Anderson.
Zachary Thomas Murphy.
Bailey Rayanne Bobbitt.
Thomas Kevin England V.
Lacey Lynn Culbertson.
Dylan Michael Oden.
Carly Lynn Helgeson.
Mackenzie Harley Jillian Cross.
Dakota Ann Beck.
Alexis Marie Alt.
Alexis Cheyenne Trigg.
Michaela Christine Kress.
Alexis Lynn Gardner.
Jordan Ashley Lear.
Dalton Leon Allen.
Logan Francis McDowell.
Emmanuel Pierre Hamby.
Bailey Thomas Maxon.
Shane Anthony Lancaster.
Sean Marvin Shear.
Hope Marie Buttram.
Andrew Pierce Richmond.
Tierra Joy Rogers.
Mercedes Nicole Overturf.
Savannah Lynn Goldston.
Samantha Diane Edmiston.
Cameron Nicole Gefeller.
Richard Austin Campbell.
Alicia Nicole Menken.
Thomas Gerald Beckford.
Oliver Henry Martin Franklin.
Allison Wynn Maloney.
Connor Gavin McDaniel.
Abby K. Danielle Logan.
Cassie Leanne Behrens.
Allison Nicole Klender.
Keaton Patrick Milburn.
Delorum Alyssa Coburn.
James Leland Pratt II.
Lucia Hinojos.
Emmanuel Vasquez.
Sergio Guevara, Jr.
Bethany Ann Hasberger.
Stephen Francis Kyle Thibodeau.
Bailey Jean Kinnicut Sims.
Jordan Lee Douglas Taylor.
Kayla Dawn Farrell.
Jacob Allen Atterbury.
Dakota Lynn Tosh.
John Michael Martin.
Haley Elaine Weilert.
Stephen James Hafley.
Harley Danielle Willems.
Zachary Daniel Herdman.
Kaylee Mariah Thexton.
Lucas Allen Brinson.
Caitlin Nicole Hoke.
Laurel May DeLapp.
Jesse Allen Jacoby.
Rafael Hinojos.
Hunter Isaac Caldwell.
Haley Dawn Revert.
Taylor Curtis Huffman.
Thomas Burton Kirk.
Jared Daniel Stranathan.
Brylan LaRon Lyle.
Logan William Fisher.
Callista Rose Larson.
Tyler Daniel Price.
Ellie Marie Hamilton.
Casey Elizabeth Goucher.
Mariah Catherine Pestock.
Garrett Cole Henry.
Adrian Trayvon Milligan.
Tristan Ty Heffel.
Omar Rojas Gomez.
Alan Daniel Palmer.
Kyle Robert Bingaman.
David Joshua Gitlin.
Adam Gabriel Rosas.
Christopher Graham McDonald.
Quinn Bryant Swaggart.
Skylar Philip Moore.
Ashton Marie Kirchhoff. Marissa Lynn Blake. Dylan Jean Elliott. Joshua Joseph Coots. Tusiata Donovan Houston. And Michael Cole Oldham.
Class of 2017, please rise. You may now turn your tassel.
At this time, we would like to invite everyone present to stand and join us, the graduates of Belton High School, in song. Please join in as we sing our high school alma mater. The words to our alma mater are found in the inside cover of your program.
They need to come forward. It's okay. Ready? Go. One.
High upon a hill so noble, challenging the eye, stands a school above all others, stands the Belton High. Belton High, to thee we shall be loyal till we're old, striving always to do service for the purple and gold.
I'm actually putting it back.